Hi everybody, welcome back. It's been a little while since I've done a perfume review. At least it feels like it has been a bit. But today we're talking about Zara Leather Jardin, and I just put this into my collection, so I wanted to talk about it a little bit. I feel like I slept on this release and I wasn't aware of it. Leather Jardin was released in 2021, and the perfumer behind this bottle is Malone. She's created lots and lots and lots of perfumes for Zara, and I haven't bought any of them, but someone sent me a sample of this one and I really enjoyed my decant, so I was motivated to go and get a bottle, which I have done. So this is the bottle. It's gorgeous, it's glass. This cap kind of has an Art Deco feel. It's really nice, but it is a plastic cap and it's not magnetic, so a little bit cheaper there. The perfume costs $45.90 here in Canada for 90 ml. So the price point I think is quite accessible. I didn't see smaller bottles of this perfume when I went to look, and I also was not able to find it at my local Zara store. It might have been, I don't know, they have different perfumes in the men's section and in the kids section, and I'm normally just at the main checkout on the main floor, so I just smell whatever's there while I'm waiting in line, and nothing's really moved me to purchase it. A lot of times I feel like I pan Zara fragrances because they smell really sweet and very generic. You know, after a few years of going and smelling the same stuff in line, you kind of get a sense for what their main bestsellers are, but this blew me away when I smelled it. When I got my sample, I could see why this person had put it into their collection, because this is for us. This is for the old school vintage perfume lovers. If you know what the word cheaper means and you can use it in a sentence, then you will probably want to get your nose on this because it is for you. And it's for me, and that's why I got it. Like I said, with the price point, it is more accessible, easy to wear. Let's talk about what it smells like. Okay, Leather Jardin is a green perfume. It's quite green. The official notes are grapefruit, rose, and hints of leather. That's what they've written. I would say that the main ingredient that I get from this, or the main note that I get, is galbanum. And I know that it's galbanum because I've smelled it in a few other favorite perfumes, and one of those is Gray Flannel by Jeffrey Bean. So again, this is a very cheap bottle, even cheaper than the Zara, if you can believe it, because this was, I think, $19.99 for the 100 ml, 120 ml, and the main note in this is also galbanum. So Gray Flannel is violet leaf and galbanum. It's a very great perfume. It's very 70s or 80s, depending on when you came across it. And it just is a throwback to a different time. People do feel like it's quite dated if they don't know anyone that still wears this kind of perfume. And Leather Jardin also has a lot of galbanum in it. And so because that galbanum is present in Gray Flannel and it's present in Leather Jardin, I'm led to believe that that ingredient, whatever that ingredient is that's giving us that galbanum note, I'm led to believe that that is quite an affordable ingredient for brands to use, and that's how Zara can make a perfume that is a, you know, old school, mossy, green, leafy kind of fragrance, you know? To say that it's a cheap perfume, I think that kind of undercuts how good it is. It is really a vintage style scent, and it's still made for the masses. I think, you know, Zara appeals to such a range of people, you know, range of ages, range of different kinds of demographics. You know, I know women that are in their 50s who will only shop off the Zara sale rack, and I know kids that will buy the latest and greatest from Zara. They just have to have it. everything is super, super new. So I think it appeals to a lot of different kinds of people, and they've started making perfume that appeals to a lot of different kinds of people too. So that's really cool. It's really interesting to see a brand come out with a very vintage style, old school, green perfume, and it's for everybody. I really hope I see lots of different kinds of people smelling this and wearing this kind of perfume, because it is different from everything else that's out there. So as I was saying, the main notes are grapefruit, rose, and hints of leather. That's what's listed on the Zara website. To my nose, yes, I get some of that grapefruit. I get grapefruit as a citrus top note. It is fleeting. It doesn't last a very long time. I actually wore this when I went out last night, and as I sprayed it on, I could smell that grapefruit, but by the time I got my shoes on and I was in the car, I couldn't smell it anymore. Like, the grapefruit was gone, and what I really smelled is a lot of galbanum. There is a floral kind of note that's in here, that's in especially the opening in the middle of the scent, but I would say that it's kind of a generic floral note. It doesn't smell like a rose to me. It doesn't even smell like a peony. It doesn't smell like anything in that neighborhood. It smells like a synthetic floral, and that's okay. I still think it smells really good. I enjoy wearing this perfume. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought a bottle of it. But it's not really a rose perfume. So if you're that type of person that doesn't like roses, I would say you could still smell this, because you're not going to get rose out of this. There are florals in here, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what floral you're smelling. To my nose, I get a lot of galbanum. I get a floral, I get that grapefruit. It's kind of bitter, and definitely green. It goes well with the greenness. And then there is leather in this scent. So the leather is not really like a shoe or a handbag. I would say it's kind of like a freshly shampooed, worn out sofa, like a leather sofa. That's what I think about when, in the mid to late dry down, after like an hour, when I smell this perfume, that's kind of what I think of. It's a really clean, light scent. It's quite cool in its feel, and it just makes me think of soapy leather, but it's not like an expensive soap. Like, it's not like you're soaping up the horse's saddle, and that's what I get when I think of Cuir de Russie by Chanel, which is another leather perfume that I have. This is more like just a very generic industrial soaped up leather, and it just smells fresh. It smells good. It is quite enjoyable to wear. There's a hint of smokiness in there almost, but it's not in your face, not hitting you in the face with it. But it's a nice, fresh green leather perfume. It just makes me think of walking through a garden where all the leaves are really thick and rubbery, and there's no flowers, and they're made out of like a thick rubber or a thick leather. Like, they're kind of alternating. They're all in there, and that smell, that fresh smell, is what leather Jardin smells like. I've seen people compare this to Magie Noir. I've seen people compare it to Cabochard Grey. I haven't smelled any of those, but I know they're from like that same 70s, 80s era, so I'm going to take people's word for it that is what it kind of reminds them of. I would say if you like green perfumes, then you need to smell this. If you like a chypre, you totally need to smell this. And if you like a vintage style of perfume and you're not scared of wearing anything that smells vintage, then definitely you will like this. Like I said, the price point makes it accessible to a lot of different people, which is great. It's really refreshing to see. It's refreshing for Zara. It's also refreshing for the world. I love that green perfumes are having a moment, because I love green perfumes. I don't like anything that's too heavy, and this definitely has a lightness. a zinginess, a youthfulness to it as well. I almost feel like they've taken gray flannel and they've updated it and made it better, because you've got some interesting top notes. You've got a little bit of texture. You've got some change as it wears, so you're not smelling the same thing the whole time. It's not a linear perfume, but at the same time, it's not overly complex. And again, that is something that is very accessible. It's totally different from everything else that's out there, and I think this is a great perfume to add to your wardrobe for the summertime. Zara is definitely not paying me to say this. I bought this bottle. I mean, if you have another Zara perfume that you love, I would love to hear about it. Like I said, they don't have all of them on display at my local Zara store, so I kind of only smell whatever's near the cash, but online they have some newer ones, different ones available. I know this was launched as part of a collection that Incense Sunset or Sunset Incense is part of, and that's another one that I've heard great reviews about, but I want to know whether there's actual incense in there, because that is a very expensive material, expensive to harvest, expensive to like, it takes a toll on the environment as well, because it's coming out of an actual tree, and you can't, there's no way to like speed up that process. So I know that about incense. So I really want to get my nose on that and see how that smells. But if you smell that, let me know. I will say that people often hate on Jo Malone perfumes because they feel like they don't last a long time, and they hate on Zara perfumes because they don't last a long time. I have not had that experience with either brand. I think Jo Malone fragrances, the longevity is what it is. I think it depends on really which one you're smelling. I have pomegranate noir, I have grapefruit, I have black cedar wood and juniper. I have a few of them. I think I have like 4 or 5 Zara perfumes. I can smell them for 6 to 8 hours. I don't want something that's on my skin that I can't even wash off. So I'm not interested in anything that's beast mode or anything that lasts too long. In fact, it's probably going to give me a headache if that's the case. And I am finding that the more I wear perfume and the more I interact with it, the more sensitive I'm becoming to those ingredients. So I don't want anything that's going to last forever. I want what's going to smell good right now. That being said, I think the lasting power on this is pretty good. You can get 6 to 8 hours pretty easily, depending on where you spray it and where you live and kind of what's going on in your environment. Where I live is very, very dry. It's not always very warm. Today is an exceptionally hot day. It's like 30 degrees today. I'm already sweating. It's not very hot where I live, and it's not humid, so my fragrance lasts a long time. I know that in a humid environment, like when I'm out by the lake, fragrance does not last. It doesn't last. I can't smell top notes, middle notes, or even base notes. Like, there's nothing. I can like douse myself in it. It does not last. So keep that in mind, that, the lasting power, the sillage, all of that is going to depend on where you live, your body temperature. If that's something that's really of concern to you, you could spray it on your clothes. Clothes seem to make fragrance last longer. You could spray it on your hair. If you don't have any hair, or you don't want to get your clothes with perfume on them, you could put perfume on a piece of paper and tuck it into a pocket or a purse and hopefully smell it that way. I will say the first time I sprayed my sample, I put it on a piece of paper, and I was at work. It was the end of the day. So I sprayed it. I smelled it. I was like, oh, this is really good. I'm going to come back to this. And then I never did that day. I came in the next day, and first thing in the morning, I could smell it from walking in the door. I could smell it right away. I was like, oh my God, what is that? That smells so good. And I went to my desk and I picked up the leather Jardin piece of paper that I had, and that's what I was smelling. And I had only sprayed that one. So on paper or fabric, it'll probably last longer, maybe not as long on the body or in the hair, but definitely you can get 6 to 8 hours. I think that's great longevity. Jo Malone perfumes also last a decent amount of time. But again, I don't care how long it lasts. I'm happy if it lasts an hour, and if I smell good for an hour, I'm good with that. And also, we go anosmic to perfume as well. And I definitely find that for myself. You know, one of my favorite perfumes is Bois d'Argent, and I can't smell it if I wear it every single day. I just can't. So I've had to put that away, which is very sad for me. But it is what it is. I don't know. I think that if you want to smell good, that it doesn't matter how long you're smelling good for. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know what you think. Longevity is good. Sillage is okay. I wear like 4 or 5 sprays. It's summer. I'm tempted to spritz this on lots. Also, I'll say this is an eau de parfum. It says eau de parfum right there. And I almost forgot to mention, this is the box that it comes in, okay? This is a Zara box, and it's nice heavy cardboard. And then when you open it, it comes with this card, and that's the packaging. And it says, from blue sky sunrise to amber desert sunset, every second full of the heritage of precious scents and its luxurious presence. And then it's signed, Love, Joe. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. Okay. And it says Leather Jardin on this side. Okay. So nice packaging. Kind of reminded me of Chanel packaging in that it's very basic cardboard. And the Chanel packaging is created so that you can recycle the entire box, and there's no plastic in it, nothing like that. It's very easy to recycle. I don't know if this is the case with this Zara packaging. I suspect it's not, because they've got this sticker here, and maybe that would prevent you from recycling it. But this box did remind me of Chanel, and this reminds me of the Chanel also. It's the Les Eaux de Chanel that come in this kind of packaging, and yeah, it's cool. It's fine. Nice packaging, actually. I'm happy with that. Of course, I'm going to keep the box because I love doing that. And I think that's it from me. Let me know what other Zara perfumes are on your radar or that you like. I'm definitely going to go upstairs to the men's department the next time I'm at Zara to see what's there, because I've heard that there's some good men's ones. I know there's a tobacco collection, like a rich tobacco. Those were good. I didn't end up buying any of them. I felt like they were very linear, and I was able to try them on my skin when I was in store last winter. I want to say last fall maybe. But yeah, let me know which ones you like. And Fleur de Patchouli is another good one. I tried that on skin this weekend, and I really liked it. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.